Começa aí, Dipe.
Eu começo. Hey guys, we're here again. We're back to our 007 episode with Vicente Junior. Thank you, Vicente, for being here with us. Max Gimenis.
Usa. I'm here again.
And we also want to thank you, Brave Kimonos, for sponsoring this podcast. Brave Kimonos is a fight gear where you guys can find the best gis, rash guards, shorts, all of your needs on Jiu-Jitsu gear. So make sure you guys use PBJJF or PBJJF10 for 10% off. All right. And
What website?
website. What is the website?
BraveKimonos.com.
BraveKimonos.com. Make sure you guys go there and also buy some products. Tell everybody that you saw Brave Kimonos on PBJF podcast. And also, guys, we also want to let you guys know about Roll Live. Roll Live is the new media for Jiu-Jitsu. Roll Live is doing live stream on all PBJJF tournaments and also doing the media and showcasing all the athletes at PBJJF events. So when you guys compete at PBJJF events, you can go to on YouTube and watch, or your family can watch you live on every single mat. Okay, so make sure, guys. Also, so many things to say. So we have the PBJJF Baltimore Spring Open happening this Saturday. So we still have some days for you guys to register. Go there, register, and you're gonna see you guys over there as well. So I think we're ready to start. Thank you, Vicente, for come here.
Thanks for having me.
And hang out with us. This is just a literally conversation. We're just hanging out, you know.
I'm always up for a conversation.
There, so
that's a problem because I talk a lot.
Hey, that's great. We love to hear these stories, you know. Like it's not only jiu-jitsu. We talk about everything, pretty much anything that comes.
Nice.
We're gonna be cutting each other all the time, right? Stopping story and change for another
that's what
story
I do.
in the
We
middle of
cut
the one.
So I'm the James Bond then, right? Like at the 007, so I'm
You are.
James Bond.
James Bond.
Yeah, 007 episode.
Yeah.
And so, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, like introduce yourself to everyone.
All right. Yeah, Vicente Junior.
Famous
Husband.
VJ. Famous VJ.
Yeah, husband, father, Jiu-Jitsu black belt, 5th degree Jiu-Jitsu black belt, under Master de la Riva. Been doing Jiu-Jitsu for almost over 30 years now. I've been black belt for 21. So being on the road for a long time. I brought my hat so nobody can see my gray hair.
Be happy we
So-
still have.
Good point. Good point. So I've been this road for like a little over 30 years. Enjoying, love it. Love, teach, compete. Just stop a little bit on competition right now because great things going on at the gym, or program, or young kids, young program. It's been doing very, very good. So I'm just trying to right now like be more coach than I was before, because you guys know when you're a competitor, it's selfish, you know what I mean? It's a lonely road. You're just there training, waking up early. You don't really care about anybody else but yourself. So right now, like, I'm trying to be more at the gym as a coach than as a competitor, as a trained partner.
I think that transition happens to everyone who's like get a gene or whatever. Get to one point you need to do that transition. Sometimes early, sometimes a little bit late, but it happens to everyone.
Yeah, it's a hard transition. I love tournaments. Look, I talk about tournaments. I got good bumps. Like I really enjoy compete. I really like to compete. I like the challenges. I like to always discover new things. I like to test myself. I like to go to the tournament. Jiu-jitsu, it's about dominance, right? Like I like to go there and dominate my opponents. I like to, feel that I can do that under stress, under pressure. So I love it. And
I think this keep you or motivated or keep you like moving forward and train.
Yeah. And I used to say that I tell my students that winning is really good, but I think like when you lose, if you're a real competitor, I think losing motivate you even more, right? Like it makes you like they drive you forward more, right? Because like when you win, I don't know, it's weird to me. It's kind of like it gives me like a little bit of boring, you know. I was like, man, it's I think I wish it was harder, you know, or something like that. It's very weird. But then like the tournaments that I lost, actually pushed me further, like to get
level,
better, right? And don't take me wrong. The Gracies say that in Jiu-Jitsu you learn or you win or you learn, right? I'd rather to live as an idiot and keep winning and don't learn anything. But yes, you definitely learn a lot with your loss. So
We learn from the mistakes we make,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Bring it back to life. Like a lot of mistakes we make outside of the mat in life are lessons for us to push ourselves to the next level and try. The smart people, the ones that really take as a lesson and not keep committing the same and making the same
Yep.
mistake.
Yep.
It happens in jiu-jitsu. You
But
get
sometimes-
submitted in one way, you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna have
Yep.
the same outcome, right?
So
Yeah.
it's good when we learn from somebody's mistake.
That's better. That's better. That's wise. That's being wise.
Yeah.
Wise.
Yeah, what are you doing, right? Yeah, that's why I think I'm enjoying my coaching experience right now because especially work with the young, right? Like with the kids. They start training like 5-6 years ago. Was like 8 years old, 7 years old. I had the chance to kind of like literally not only guide them on the mats, but also guide them outside the mats, right? Like, and, we had the conversation on the tournament a couple months ago about how, to me, I try to teach them like enjoy this time, enjoy that experience on the mats, on competing, on traveling. You know what I mean? Because nobody will ever take this away from you. You know, your medals, they will. You're gonna lose your titles. You know what I mean? You're gonna win the tournament right now, but you might lose the next one. You're not gonna be the best forever. You know, somebody somewhere has your number, but your experience, your memories that you build with your coach, your parents, your teammates, it's forever. Nobody will take.
I definitely feel
That's
this help building your persona in the
Yep.
future, you know, who you are.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu,
definitely.
that experience, like I tell, we just talk about this too. Like sometimes, like you get a kid, he's shy, he don't want to
Yep.
talk. You know, we get on a match, he start getting new friends, he get more confidence, and he's like just improving himself for the future. Maybe now not gonna change too much, but like in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years,
Yep.
he's gonna be a different person.
Yep.
But I think Vicente, I don't know if people who don't know yet. Vicente, start paving the world, jiu-jitsu road for us before we got here.
No.
So we're able to do this because you somehow was able to pave the road.
Yeah, thank you for putting this way. I
You know,
don't think, I
it
don't
is.
think
Don't
so.
feel
but-
old, okay?
No,
Sorry.
yeah, of course, but I mean, like it's similar to other federations. We look up to other federations. They paved the road
yeah.
for us, you know, like. And in Maryland, you know, like before I got here, you're here already doing the work and spreading the jiu-jitsu word, you know.
How long you here in Maryland?
13 years, Maryland.
13 years,
yeah. I remember when I first came, I think it was only Lloyd Irving in Maryland area, right? Like the DMV area. Lloyd Irving.
But it was
Yamazaki
like
was
DC,
here
right?
already, or no?
Yeah.
Or
Then
DC.
the Fernando, Master Fernando Yamazaki, but I think before me, like I think some of the guys came through. It was Magilla. Magilla. But then Magilla kind of like, started getting away, like he became like firefighter
I
and
heard that.
start getting, like in other stuff and like his students
Don't
kind of
focus
like
too much on jiu-jitsu, yeah.
yeah, I think it's just kind of like one of the problems with most immigrants, right? Like they have one goal, like then maybe that goal doesn't work the way they supposed to, then they end up,
Change their.
yeah, they change, then they become American citizens, then they like get another job, then they realize, like life is okay, let me go this way, and kind of like I think that's what happens. I don't know. I met him like one time in a tournament and we talked a little bit, and that's pretty much it. But that's why I feel like most not most, but some people happen that a lot. I think we are here one of the quite few that came for jiu-jitsu and stayed for jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Like I've been working with jiu-jitsu since I got here, since the day one. That's all I want to know. I know how to do it, and I love to do it. The only thing I change a little bit right now, the past 2 years, I became like firearm instructor. I really enjoy like shooting. It's my hobby now. Then I start doing that because of jiu-jitsu, because I start training with some of the SWAT teams and some special units, and try to help them with grappling, how to like stay away from when guys come and try to fight them or grab their rifle or the weapon on a raid or in a close quarters. So, and I like to understand everything I do. I like to teach and know what I'm talking about. So because of that, I told myself I need to understand about firearms, right? Because I need to know how they work, where I can grab, what I can do, so I can teach very efficiently, right? So I want to be efficiently on everything I do. Then that's how I start with firearms, and I became like pretty good at it, and now like it's another thing that I do with jiu-jitsu on my time off, and
But
I really enjoy
it's
it.
still connect,
And still connect.
It's more like military-based jiu-jitsu
Yeah,
kind of training.
yeah.
You told me like back a couple months ago you plan to do like a course or something like
Yep,
that,
yep.
like how to protect your gun or
Yep.
something like that.
Yep.
I think that's
Yeah.
great.
Talk,
Even
talk a
for
little
this
bit
era,
about
it's like,
this if
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, nowadays, like, that's the whole idea of jiu-jitsu for self-defense, right? Like, and I think for the jiu-jitsu, it's already equalizer, right? Like, if you know jiu-jitsu, if you learn leverage, you can dominate a bigger opponent. But now everybody knows jiu-jitsu, right?
Start getting
So
hard.
this is not like back in the 70s when the Gracies started. It's like, hey, here's the technique against the lame, right? Like if the guy doesn't know anything, that's how I'll do it, right? Like so now like the firearm, right? It's the other equalizer, right? If you know how to use it and you be proficient on it, that's your only chance against someone that try to hurt you or hurt your loved ones.
True. I think it is very important. I think I have a lot of military students, so I get to chat with them a little bit. I talk to police officers, and there's other rules, different rules, right? Like there's rules for police officers. There's rules for military that go oversee, because laws change, right?
Yeah,
so what are the type of interaction you need to have in each scenario, right?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
might change as well, correct?
Yep, yeah. It's all change. Every country is different. Every state is different. So it's like it's something. It's just like jiu-jitsu. You need to be consistent learning to be proficient and understand the nuances between each one of it.
Nice.
Let me see.
Talk about the kids. No, you say like they starting. You have like a pretty big group of kids going out and competing, win tournaments. And like
Yep.
I don't know, we start to be a coaching full time for that group. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's kind of like everything start. Be honest, because of my son, right? At first, I didn't want him training jiu-jitsu at all.
You don't wanna?
No, I didn't. I didn't want him train at all, like, cause I didn't wanna destroy the relationship father-son, because I'm his coach, right?
Coach
I want
that
him.
is different.
Yeah, I want him to respect me and love me as a father, and not as a coach, or respect me because I want this or I want that. You know what I mean? I want him just kind of like, hey, Dad. I don't want to like that respect because of the coach. And then my wife made him that told me, like, it made him do it. Like, look, you need to do it because you need to learn how to protect yourself in school. And he just started doing it just for fun, like as a little kid. And then at a certain point, just start like kind of like kicking in, like, oh, I really want to compete and I want to win. I want to be like you, Dad. I remember one day, like, because I'm one of the weirdest person. Like I get all my medals and I put on a box. I don't hang anywhere. I don't take pictures. I just don't. I just to me just the the journey to that tournament is what matters, right? Like that medal after I just put in a box. Then he took it off everything from the box and then he put it on his table and he sent me this. I was traveling and then he took a picture and sent to me, like saying like you have this many gold medals, this many silver medals, this many. And I think it was like 8 years old, 9 years old, something like that. And he's sending me this text message. It was weird, like make me cry, like saying like, I hope one day I will be like you, Dad. Like you have this many medals in gold and silver and bronze, and but not only in the mats, but this person you are outside the mats, blah blah blah. And yeah, it was like very thoughtful. I even like. I think I actually paused recently when he won Pans last year. I paused that medal. It was like years and years ago. He's like a pretty smart kid for his age, and that day I decided like, okay, I'm gonna focus more on help him on his journey. Obviously I had some stubbles. Like go to a tournament, yell at him. It's like, hey, do that. Then I see the change, and he taught me more than I have ever thought him. Like I will have a conversation with him, drive back home. It's like, oh, why are you crying? Why are you doing this? Then he's like, oh, because I was afraid to disappoint you. I was afraid to this. And I was like, hey, don't worry about it. I promise I'm not going to yell at you. Matter of fact, I haven't yelled at him in years because I made a promise to him like a few years ago. Never yell at him in a tournament again or at the training. Instead, something happened, blah, blah, blah. Then I never did. I haven't done it in years, and I started like shifting to help him and help the other kids that actually in the class, right? Then suddenly all these kids start like coming because I actually just start teaching kids class. I would say like 5-6 years ago. I wasn't teaching because I just didn't like the format here. I just didn't like that. Like people, tell me what to do. Parents like, oh, you need to work this on my kid. And I had an agreement with the parents, especially with the team competition. They say, look, I don't care what you want. I don't care what you need. I'm here for your kid. So if he tells me he needs this or that, I will attend his necessity. But like you're just the parent. I just want you to support him. So then I kind of like started working with the kids. And then we have like a few kids, Bane, Elijah, Gemma, Lane. We have about like 5-6 kids. That's the ones I remember the name right now. That it's just they've been for years like going to Pan Ams, like and not doing very well. Then like came back and I would say the parents like, oh, I want to take my kid for this tournament. Then I was like, look, it's 50-50, right? So either they will hate it or either they will love it. So it's an investment for you and him. It is a great experience. Like you guys gonna have a memorable time. You guys gonna have a trip. So let's see how it works. So then the majority of the parents went, had a great time. Some of them, that's the kids that have been winning everything right now. They just came back and it's just like, I hate lose. I want to train harder. So now we have Dan that won Pans as a kid, yellow, then won European as an orange belt, just like end of last year. Then this year, he was a blue belt juvenile. First year, he got third, and he just won Pans adult juvenile one as a blue belt against like a very tough division. Then Gabriel won Pans, my son is yellow, and won Europeans as a orange. Elijah won Pans, been winning. Like Elijah is always on PBJJF tournaments. Like he's amazing. Gemma, yeah.
Elijah, I'm scared. He get so big.
He is.
Yeah. Every tournament I saw here, he like boom.
I was rolling. Boom, I was rolling with him yesterday. I was like, dude, like stop growing. Like
he'll be a heavyweight. He'll be like a big boy.
Yeah, he's like 162 right now.
162. Like 13, 12.
Yeah, 15. He just turned 15, but he's like taller than me. His foot is that big. like his hand, like it was like I shake hands with him. I was like, dude,
Yeah, it's coming.
yeah, it's like, and he's like has like a man strength. You know what I mean? Already, like I grab him in a position, and he just kind of like, you know what I mean? You were saying like that's your position. It's him.
Yeah.
It's like. I think, is he training with you?
No.
So he's like, grab
Yeah,
like,
he's
And they
done.
have some kids that they do homeschooling just to be able to train more.
yeah,
right?
Elijah. I don't know if Elijah does. I know Bane does. Like, and he's been in the gym like 3 times a day. Gabriel doesn't. Like, we didn't. I talked to my wife. We didn't want to do homeschool. So he goes to school. Gemma goes to school as well. So yeah, but definitely the kids that do homeschool, they
train more.
yeah,
More
they
time.
definitely.
Have
I mean,
more time to train.
match time, right? Match time
Yeah.
doesn't lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Match time doesn't lie. Like, yeah, and they have a pretty good they have a pretty good guys they look up to. You know what I mean? Like, we have Michael there, black belt, that like light featherweight that it's in the mats all the time, train. So he's like 23, 24 years old. He's an amazing kid, being trained with me since like he was white belt, going to all tournaments with me, training with me every day. So the kids like follow him up. They don't have Jason Chi, the purple belt, like he's really, really good. He started in Yamazaki.
Hey, that's funny. I wanna be. I never did that. Get the kid and promote me a black belt, like from the first belt.
Yeah, he's
Like
nice.
all
man.
the black. I give some black belts for adults who starts with me, but I never get a kid. My youngest student I give the black belt is Vinicius. He's in Tao now too, but he started with me. He's a blue belt already, but
Okay.
he's like juvenile. That's the. But I never get a kid from white belt to give a black
Yeah.
belt. When that happens, I'll be like super happy.
I have some kids that I already told them, hey, you could be the first one from white as a kid all
Yeah.
the way to black.
That's
which is-
cool.
It's a lot of years, right? You gotta
Yeah.
put the years.
Yeah, I gotta put it down.
Yeah,
The
it's a lot of
consistency.
years, consistency, you know what I mean? But not only believe in themselves, but believe in trust your instructor, right? Like trust your coach. And Michael is one of those kids that start with me there, like as a teenager, like transition to kids to teens, and being traveling with me since. Like I have some pictures sometimes. Facebook remind me of like baby face, and I'm already like, man, just show me how old I am.
How old that guy.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's funny, but yeah, he's one of them. Like, yeah, I mean, adults. I have a bunch of adults that actually started here in the States with me 13 years ago and went all the way to the black belt, like Chris Bauer. Then we have the other guys, Lance, but my business partners, Lance, Kai, Nate, but they were from Duke, Magilla.
Duke.
Yep.
I went
So-
to train with him
Yeah.
a couple of times when I was come to visit Harley here.
Good times, huh?
Duke, man, Duke is a funny guy. He
I
was
never-
he
I
was
never
he
met
was he also helped Maryland.
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu in Maryland.
Yep.
But he was like I think he learned online, right, or something like that.
No, I don't know. I
From
think
Marcelo Garcia online or something like that.
some of the I don't know.
No, I don't know. Like that's
Don't
what
put me in a bad spot.
No, that's they
People
that's
are
what I
watching
heard.
this.
No, that's what I heard because Monroe. I remember seeing Monroe there. I don't remember much the Kai, right? I think you
Kai.
I don't remember. Remember mostly Monroe.
Yeah.
Monroe, I remember. Really nice
what
guy.
his belt
Monroe.
at the time? What his belt?
I don't know. I think it was a brown belt, black belt. I don't know when he got his black belt, but like when I came to Maryland, it was kind of like it was. How does that happen? Yes, I was in Delaware. Then I came to Maryland to referee a good fight tournament. Because I was friends with the guy that owns Good Fight
What
Tournament.
year was that? Sorry.
2009, end of 2009, probably
Okay.
beginning of 2010, something like that. Then I was refereeing the tournament, and my wife was pregnant. Was big belly sitting like on the table, and this guy started talking to her, and I was refereeing his son's match. And the guy that I was used to work with, from Delaware. He was refereeing another match. It was just blue belt, but he was refereeing another match. So he was talking to the Naval Academy guys because I think his son was in the Navy. Then he's like, oh, my son in the Navy, you know. Then when we were driving back home, my wife told me, he's like, oh, this guy was talking to me. There was his son. He was refereeing his son. So he gave me one of the flyers of his gym because his son is a purple belt, which was like his father.
Oh, okay.
And then my previous boss say, oh, the guys from the Naval Academy actually wants you come over to teach a seminar there. So I came to the Naval Academy, taught a seminar there. Then the guy that was teaching there actually used to train with Duke, Kai Lance. Then he's like, hey, those two guys, they don't have instructors anymore. They're not training with Duke. So they wanted someone that they can be under and blah, blah, blah. So then they sent me an email. I drove back here to one day to teach another class. They just came, you know, like usually, just come, train with everybody, do a class. Then they took me for a dinner and say, hey, man, why you don't come every month, once a month to teach a class? We're going to pay for the gas, going to give you, you know, money for the class, blah, blah, blah. Then I was coming once a week. And then that became twice a month. And that became once a week. And that became like twice a week. Then like Lance.
Stay here.
Yeah, it was like
It
it was conquest. It was like, and I remember like.
But they have a school already, or they just
no.
train
So
under?
that's the funny part, right? So, they used to teach at Kung Fu Academy. So they used to take their spot and the time they have available, and they will pay percentage of whatever the students do, right? So then I went to the school. But then what I used to do, I used to come on Fridays, teach the class. Then I didn't want to drive back home late. I would go out for a dinner with the guys, you know, do guy stuff. Then I will go to Lance's house, sleep there. Then, you know, 10 years ago, everybody's young, oh, let's go train again. Then we'll go in the morning to the gym. Then he opened the gym, and it wasn't their gym. And we were there training, just Lance and I. The gym was empty, right? So then out of nowhere, has this front desk, and we were like rolling. Then this guy just pop up the heads like, how did you guys get here? And we're like rolling. It's like, what's going on? Then Lance is like, oh, I don't know. It's one of the owners, like cousins, whatever. Then the guy's like, what are you guys doing here? How did you guys came here? So apparently the guy spent the night there with his girlfriend. We didn't see. We just walking into the gym. The guy was sleeping on the floor at the gym, and we're like they're training. Then it kind of like became an issue, right? Like because then the brother find out the guy was using the gym to sleep with his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And we were there. Then we got in the middle of the conflict. Yep. Then we end up going to a gym down the road. Then that's when Lance like got the place. It was cross the street to Gold Gym on the Route 3. When you pass like Wawa, you go Route 397 Wawa. Mm-hmm. Then it has the Gold Gym. So it was a kind of like cross the street. So we start the business there. Then
20 what?
2000. It was at end of 2010. Yeah, it was end of 2010. Then we start there because I moved here in Maryland in 2010. I came to the States in 2009, April 14 of 2009. I remember the date. So it's gonna be 14 years this week.
That's
maybe today.
a long road.
Yeah. Yeah, almost 11. Right. Yeah. 11. It's a 14. Yeah, it's gonna be 14 years that I'm in States on the end of the week. So anyway, then that's when he opened the gym and he invited me to say, hey, you should move here. Then that's when I moved to Maryland. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
I remember
first come to Delaware.
No, first.
Delaware.
Well, I spent a couple time 3 weeks with Tony Passos. I knew Tony through the De La Riva Gym Network because he was a student of Boca. Then Boca, he was a good friend of mine. So I was, when I came.
Sorry, Boca from Florida?
Yes. Yeah, Moacir.
Ricardo.
Yeah, Ricardo. Yep. Ricardo. So I know Ricardo from way back in the day too.
Fun.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when I was black belt already, when him like the Neo were all blue belt, purple belts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm that old. So.
I don't say that. Like we told like, oh, in
Mature,
2010 I'm over
mature,
here. I'm
mature.
like 2010. I think I'm like yellow belt.
So yeah, then I stayed with Tony. I came. Actually, my goal at first time it was to compete Pan Ams in 2009, but I didn't get my visa in time, so I had to cancel my flight. Then I stayed with Tony, and I did the very first New York Open. Then I fought
2009.
2009.
I competed there.
Did
I
you?
won this event. 2009.
Yeah. So yeah, I competed that
Was that
event.
the first one?
That the very first one.
It has a statue.
Yeah,
like,
Statue of Liberty. Yep.
I have
Yep.
that. I won that.
Nice.
Then I did that tournament. When I came back to Tony, then he told me, he's like, hey, a guy in Delaware wants to have a jiu-jitsu instructor. Then I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm going there. Then that's when my whole instructor career started. Like at first, my goal it was like just compete, go back home. But then I got that offer, and
How did
I
you?
mean,
here I
your
am.
wife,
Did you meet your wife in Brazil or here?
Yeah. Thanks,
Brazil,
God.
you guys you came all together. you
Yep.
guys
No, she came later. She was finishing her college, and then at first she's like, "Hey, when I get my school break, I'm gonna come visit and come back." Then I was like, "Yeah, cool." But then like she came in and she decided to stay. She's like, I'm not gonna come back. I can being like, oh, this 4 months
That
without you
far,
there. Then she just decided. Then like a few months later, like we're like, oh.
That girl is crazy.
I'm
though.
late.
That one was crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I
know.
come to SA, man. I have nothing.
Everybody,
I have my wife.
Same.
everybody says like, man, like your wife, she's so smart, and I was like, I don't think so. She married me. She married me. Like she made a mistake.
Come to SA, I have nothing. I play like people say like, man, how you guys start from the zero? I say no, I start below 5.
Below.
And
Below 100.
Below 100. And like she just, I'm going with you. I'm like, you crazy? Like you're supposed to say no, and like she say yes.
Yeah.
Straight.
How was the transition for you, like from Brazil to the U.S.? I mean, like emotionally, mentally. How?
I don't know. I think I'm pretty good on transition with everything. I think Jiu-Jitsu taught me that. You know what I mean? Transition from one position to
right.
another. So I think right now, actually, as I getting older, I'm start missing my country more. You know what I mean? In the beginning, everything is like, oh, cool, blah, blah,
It's
blah. You
real,
know what I mean?
though.
Then now, like, I start getting older, I realize, like, I don't have roots here. You know what I mean? Like, nothing. Like, it's just my only root here. It's my gym, right? And my kid. You know what I mean? All my parents, friends, family, it's there. You know what I mean? Like, you have no roots. Like, and it's interesting because I went to Master Pedro Sauer Academy one time with Men's Brothers. They were doing a seminar, and I had a chance to sit in the corner and talk to him a little bit. And he might remember that conversation, and we were talking, and he's like, hey, Vicente, how you like here? And I was like, oh, I love it. He's like, do you think about coming back? And I was like, no, like, love here, I want to stay, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, man, I miss Brazil, the smell, my friends, the stuff there, that's, my childhood. And now I understand that conversation. You know what I mean? That's what I miss right now. Like, more you're getting older, then you're like, I don't know, it's weird. I'm going to be 46 in a couple months. You know what I mean? I'm not that old, but like I'm getting a point in life. Every second matters. You know what I mean? When we were young, we're like, we don't care. You know what I mean? We're riding in a car without a seatbelt to go 120 miles an hour. We don't care. We think we're indestructible, right? Like we think it's like, oh, nothing. We're going to break the leg and we'll walk tomorrow, right? Like something like that. But then we realize like now that I think that transition is being hard right now. You know what I mean? Like I was listening when you guys were having the interview with the junior, and he says something about like, sometimes you want to be a world champion, then you achieve that goal, and you just kind of like you didn't really fulfill your goal, right? And I think that's which is funny. Like I spend the whole time here to fulfill my goal, to have a successful gym, to become American citizen, and live the American dream, and I finally achieved that. And I was just kind of like, this is kind of boring. You know what I mean? It's like, what else to do? Does that make sense? So
What is
it's
next?
kind of like, what is next? You know what I mean? So, luckily, I have a great wife. You know what I mean? She's amazing. She's helped me a lot. Like, we're always like challenging, doing some stuff. And my son, right? Like, obviously now he's the goal. He's the new challenge. You know what I mean? Like, he got the best of his life. It's not in jiu-jitsu. Like, I don't care if he wins the tournament right now, if he lose, I just want to have the best life with him, like enjoy the journey, like support him or anything, or on anything he wants to do, and in the gym and the other students. But yeah, that's it. I think the transition
I think
is
we
now.
understand what we're talking
I
about.
definitely understand.
We do understand.
You know,
We
yeah.
do.
I think you especially, right, Max, and I don't know about you, but like Rio is a different lifestyle, right? Like I've been Rio many times, and I know people, party times, like friends, you know what I mean? Like Northeast, I'm from Sao Paulo. I was born and raised in Sao Paulo, but when I was 14, I moved to Maceió, Alagoas, and my life in Sao Paulo is a lot like inside a house, right? Like my parents were working, and I was inside a house all the time, so I didn't really have friends. So I don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of family or memories from there, but like the school and inside the house. But then when I look to Maceió, it's all my friends. Matter of fact, when I go there right now, man, I don't go out party, but we go to a pizza or a bar, and we sit on and we just there, and we just there for hours, and you forget the word. You know what I mean?
It sometimes feels like you never, you're just talking a week ago.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't take, like sometimes you get some friends that you talk to them, it like seems like you really never
left the country.
And here is just like, it's like, hey, John, can we hang out this weekend? Oh, no, I can't this weekend. Like, let's schedule for
3 weeks.
2 months. Like, I have a schedule. I was like, bro, you know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with you?
I have that feeling for Guarapari. I live in Guarapari for a while, too. I think I'm on that age, to 14, 13 years old, when my parents moved to Guarapari. And I have way more memories and, like, good moments in Guarapari than on Rio. On Rio, I live in a bad neighborhood too. Like my mom, my life is like house, jiu-jitsu, school, or like house, school, jiu-jitsu, always like that. To play outside just on the weekends, like when she can be there, And like in Guarapari, no, Guarapari I start to get like a lot of more freedom. Live close to the beach, go train jiu-jitsu, go to the school after the school, play soccer on the beach, and then like have way more freedom, a lot of more friends, and I really miss it. Way more Guarapari than Rio.
That's
roots. We get back to our childhood, right?
Yeah.
Like even like something we buy, like we're able to buy in a Brazilian like store, right? You buy something like, man, this really brings me so many good memories.
Yeah.
I understand now when some people tell me, I want to bring this car from Brazil. It's like, but like for that person,
I told her here, I want to have like a Go GT.
For them, it's like, it's really like, it really
funny.
brings like good memories, about.
Yeah. I was telling my wife, we went to a Brazilian store another day, and it has like a fragrance for like a boticário. That's like all the playboys in the school used to smell it, like used to use it, like because it was expensive. Then I told her, I was like, oh, they don't have that perfume here. Then she's like, why you say you don't like it? Then I was like, I just want to remember the playboys I hated. So I just want to punch them. I just want to remember. I was like, I hate those guys. Then I put it back.
I hope one day I bring that car to here. Cause that's like the older guys, always have this car and like put
go
like
that square one, right?
Yeah. And like I'll have one that. I told the people bring it, like you crazy. I'm like maybe one day.
Well, yeah, that's everybody has to go. And I think like, and it's funny because like our life success, it's a success because we share with people that we love, right? Like it's just kind of like this moment right now, right? The podcast is being a good time because they're people that we like, right? We love, we hang out, we do the same thing, have the same goals. That's the same thing. Like everything we do in life, like you buy a car, you really enjoy the car you buy it. You know what I mean? But it truly like you want to show your friends, like, hey, dude, look that car I bought it, right? Like
before I already told him like, hey, look this car, I wanna buy this car.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's like when I go to a tournament with my son, like he won, he lose. What was good about it? It was the time that was there with him. You know what I mean? Traveling, like I have jokes. I messed with him in the plane. I messed with him there. We went now to Pans. Like my son wasn't there, but it was like some parents, some adults, and we were like just mess around with each other. And we were like this week laughing about it. So it's just that's to me what success is about, right? So that's why I think like right now that transition from Brazil United States is being difficult to me because I keep thinking about all my friends that's there and I want to hang out with them again, you know what I mean, like I want to be there, but it is what it is. We move forward, that's life. Like
you guys, you're citizen already, like you have that freedom to go back and forth, you can like go visit your parents, with your friends, come back.
And the thing is, you're the first one of your generation, right? Like like I have so many friends and students that they talk to me. Oh, my father came from Europe. At this time, we're kind of we're the grandfather. Like to really like create the roots. Like into our for our family in the United States. Like when I think about that, I was like, man, we're the grandfather ones. Because we're the first one to challenge, to really get out of the, I'm not gonna say comfort zone is like a challenge ourselves, like hey, to come to.
I think it's a comfort zone because like I see like even right now in Brazil, how many friends you have, that could just go take a passport, try a visa, and come here and just visit. You know what I mean? How many family members you invite, and they like, I have my brother, my sister. I invite them all the time. They don't want to come. You know what I mean?
My mom
never came.
Just taking her visa yesterday. I'm so
nice.
Happy.
Congrats.
Thank
Congrats.
you. My mom
that's
and
awesome.
My sister.
Look, my mom, my son's 12 years old. Never met my mom. Like actually, we're going to Brazilian Nationals end of this month. Then it's in Sao Paulo. My mom lives in Maceió. Then my sister actually gave her the ticket, so she's gonna fly to Sao Paulo to finally meet him. And so like those stuff, that's pretty cool.
Tell her to arrive after the fight.
Yeah,
so much emotion before now. Like,
record.
I definitely will. For sure. Yeah. So man. I mean, don't take me wrong. I have a lot of good friends here. Like very, very, very good friends. I have a lot of people, to watch my back. But you guys know, like it's different. It's different. Maybe in a couple more years, like we build more roots here, more, truly friendship. Then you kind of like then you can say the same thing about it. You know what I mean? Here, but as right now, it's just kind of like more. You get older, you just feel kind of like, oh man, that sucks. Like I wish I could be there more often. You see, like it's funny, like. Chris Bauer, like he's been in Brazil more than I have.
He
lived
just in
there.
Brazil again, man.
Yeah, he's there again. It's like I just actually came from teaching at his school because he's there in Brazil. He loves, man. He loves. Just like he went to watch Fla-Flu this weekend.
Nah, man, don't talk about this game. Don't talk about this game.
He brought the bad luck.
He brought the bad luck.
He brings the bad luck.
I told Samir. I called Samir yesterday, and I told Samir. Because like
Flamengo 4, right? 4-1.
Yeah, and
Lost.
and he watched another game. It was like I think it was that's the second time in a couple weeks the Flamengo lost to Flu, right?
No, last time he won by two goals.
Yeah, but I had another time another game. I don't remember how long ago that he lost. And Chris was there watching too.
Don't bring Chris anymore.
Yes.
What
That he
jersey?
lost
What
to.
jersey?
I just don't remember.
What jersey he had on?
He had a Flamengo.
Tell
Yeah.
him to get the other one.
Yeah, he has. Then I called Samir yesterday because Samir, he's like a Flamenguista, like man, like he went to
Fanatic. He's a
Yeah,
fanatic.
he's crazy. Like he went to all those like Buenos Aires, like the last trip, like
The Libertadores.
yeah, the Libertadores. He was there. Like he got together with a bunch of guys, and he goes everywhere. Then like the last one I remember, like I call him and say, bro, like I don't want to laugh, but that sucks. You have everything paid. Like if Flamengo is gonna play for the third place, and he's like,
did he go all the way?
He's still going.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's still going. Yeah,
He just got the final ticket or something like that.
Yeah, no, I think. I think like he lost
Mundial?
something, and like then Flamengo just had to
Play for the
Play
Yes,
for the third.
Flamengo lost the one.
Yeah. Then he went
lost
then,
another one, and then went to the.
Then he's supposed to go there to the finals because he was expecting Flamengo to the finals. But then he
Real
went there.
Madrid,
And
right? Real
yeah,
Madrid.
yeah.
I'm Flamenguista.
Nobody-
but
nobody,
I don't care much. Then I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
But
But I
Samir
think it was
cared.
hard. But I
Samir
think
cared.
like nobody really expect Flamengo to lose. You know.
Yeah, so
because like they have like a great team like for like last 2 years,
Yeah.
and this year I don't
just
know
for
what
the
happened.
record, I hate football. I'm not a fan of football at all. I think
Football or like
no football,
soccer,
no
soccer.
football, soccer.
Okay.
Brazil, the real football. We
Yeah,
all know,
real
like
football.
we all
Just-
come on.
just to
I
know,
say
like-
that here to my students all the time. Like they kick the ball once in the whole game, and they call
They
football.
call football.
All right, so okay, let's not make this a political thing, but even though I hate football, now my son's obsessed about it. He started watching the World Cup, and he's obsessed about it. And if the juniors watching this, he's gonna be mad. He's gonna be happy. Do you know his favorite player?
Messi.
Man, he loved it.
What's yours?
I just.
I like Ronaldo too. I watched Ronaldo's
I
documentary,
just-
and then I was like, I started respecting him even
Yeah,
more. 'cause,
more.
he has a documentary, The Phenomenon, or something like that.
They're phenomenal.
And then he talks
so
about
good.
his journey, like how bad he got injured, and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
everybody said, all the docs like,
You're
never
done.
play again.
You're never gonna
Yeah.
run
And then
again.
he won the World
Yeah.
Cup, you
Yeah.
know, like.
Yeah,
Really
I
bad.
didn't have it. See, that's how old I am. I didn't have to watch the documentary because I was
It's new,
following
no,
you.
no, it's-
I was following you on
I
that
will
thing.
watch
I was
that.
there. I was watching those games.
Yeah.
No, but like it really goes behind the scenes,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like, and he taught like much respect for like him.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's basically
You know, Romario.
It's really
Romario.
respecting
Romario's
Yeah.
the best. More gangster style ever.
Romario. I didn't. I
But
like
You know
it.
the famous quote from Romario. Romario was like, "What? Like, treinar pra quê se eu sei o que fazer?"
Eu sei o que
That's
fazer.
right. I remember that one.
Cash.
Why
Cash.
we train? Just pass him the ball and then I'll do my job.
I do the job.
Yeah. So then,
But
then
he
my,
would do the work,
yeah.
right? Like that's what.
Yeah,
his
then my
thing.
son make me. Not, I mean, he didn't make him. I just say, you know, like he likes football. I'm gonna, you know, make him happy. Then he's now playing FIFA 2023. All the time.
Hey,
tell
we-
him to
we're
add
gonna
it to
let's
us.
do
FIFA live stream here.
FIFA live
Oh, really?
stream game. Let's do that.
Yeah, he's probably watching right now. He's just kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what?
No,
What's your
hey.
code? What's your code?
We all bring it together here. We bring the game and we all play here. And we do
Perfect.
like
Let's
a
do it.
tournament.
Yeah.
We do a
Let's
tournament.
do it. We can do a live stream.
Live
too,
stream
yeah.
tournament.
I bought for him. I went to the Real Madrid. It was like, where's Messi plays for?
Yeah.
Paris
PSG,
Saint Germain.
PSG.
Paris Saint Germain. I just bought like a jersey for my son. It was like $200, man. I was like, oh my
That's
god.
expensive,
that
yeah.
expensive?
Yeah, it's like it was like 119 just the jersey. Then if you buy with Messi's name, it's go 198 plus tax and like shipping. So yeah, it's
just
over
the
two.
name itself,
Yeah, it's
man.
what it was like over $200,
Oh my
and it
God.
took a month to get there. But it's
But he's
like,
super
but
happy.
oh yeah, he's it's like he
Are you
walks
good?
in the room.
good?
He's
Play-
good.
what
No,
you
I
do?
don't play. I
You
don't
don't
play.
play?
Yeah, he just play. He
He gotta
yeah.
play with us.
Yeah.
He needs to. Well, let's do one. Sometimes like I just
Not
got
really.
one. Max and Max had a one before, right?
I have one
He has
before,
four.
but like when Maya born, I'm like, I gotta put this game away because like she take all my time on the beginning, and like I sell my PS4 and now she's growing a little bit more. I'm like,
Gabriel has I bought like the
one.
PS5 for him, so he's on a 2023
We
FIFA.
should. We
that's
have
what
that.
we're playing now.
No, really?
I still suck, but like I give it a try. Yeah.
I play with one team.
I think he's
Mbappe.
I think his player his name his player I think is a Silva. That's his player. He does career. Yeah. And he does. I think his nickname is like Armbar Collector Junior.
I like.
We should get him and play sometime.
Yeah.
We should.
That would be cool. He's gonna love it.
I don't really know much. I can't even like figure out how to get people to play together. Like, we try to figure it out.
I'm just
sometimes we can
looking
play.
like if he sent me a message, he probably text me. He's like, yeah, tell them like I'm gonna play.
We should. Let's play. Let's
get,
see
like,
one
the
day.
goals.
If you guys are watching it, we do
Live stream.
like a
cool.
a tournament.
Yeah,
we
that'd be
cannot
cool.
bring Vinicius.
No, Vinicius, I have a student. He's here now. No, but I told him import him, you know.
No, really?
Like JP keep beating me every week. He beats me.
Oh, he's good.
No, I'm not good.
Yeah,
I'm not good.
We're not good, but
Yeah,
he
he-
starts to get better than me.
Like, what do you guys say?
gets
Like,
more
I'm not
stripes.
good because he's just trying to be like,
no,
hey, I'm not good. I'm gonna mess you up.
He get his first stripe on the belt, you know. I'm like a very beginner, start to rolling right now, but Vinicius is a black belt. And you know, we playing, I'm on my house and he on his house. And I'm like, let's play today, or JP. He's like, yeah, for sure. And they give the code to Vinicius beating him.
Bad. He beats me bad.
And like,
That's
Bad.
funny.
And he's like, no, you make the guy change the angle. I was like, what?
Like, how we
what
do
you
that?
mean? What are you talking about? Changing the angle.
yeah.
You make the goal like so far. It's like it's not possible.
It's like those competitors that doesn't know how to train, lose the match, and blame on the train partners.
That's right.
Start blaming on everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, change the angle. It's like, oh, this video game sucks.
Man, crazy. He's really good.
That's
No,
funny.
and after this, JP run away from here. He don't play anymore.
Let's play.
Normally, like one time a
Next
week minimum, he like,
time.
let's play tomorrow, Max. And I'm like, for the last
That's
2
funny.
weeks, he don't call me anymore.
But we're being extremely busy here.
Yeah, Gabriel, he plays every time
Is
he
he
can.
good?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Nice.
He's pretty
At
good.
that age, man, everything you throw on the kids, they
Yeah,
getting
he's
good.
pretty
they
good
learn
at it.
That's crazy.
I think he's pretty good at it. I don't know. I just watch sometimes, and but like you say, he plays career. Like I don't think he does online a lot. But if you guys start doing that, the probably he's gonna just so he can say he's like, oh, I kick your ass.
We gotta keep.
Yeah, you gotta
it's
keep
hard
up,
to
man. You
relax,
gotta
but
keep up. He's definitely gonna do it.
Let's
Yeah.
see if we can.
Yeah, that would be cool.
connect sometime
That
and
would be
do
pretty
it.
cool.
We should do a
That's
tournament.
fun.
Let's think
This-
about it.
Last weekend is like Easter, no, on Sunday.
Mhm.
And we on a friend house and get some kids and they're like, oh, let's play together. I look the kids play. I'm like, I will organize the bracket here. I don't want to lose for the kids. I did the brackets, help them play, but I don't
yeah,
play
that's
the
funny.
kids.
And yeah, I got on the bad side of the bracket.
Yeah, he got on the same side of Vinicius.
So jiu-jitsu is like that sometimes,
Yeah.
right? Man, you're sharp, but then you get on that bracket that like, hey, that's gonna be an extra challenge over here.
Never had luck with the good brackets, but whatever. Gotta beat
Yeah,
everybody,
You
right?
gotta win everybody. That's right.
Now it's kind of a little bit different when like people get a better rank,
ranking.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that helps a lot because I remember my first award, my first fight is Bochecha on the black belt, I'm like, oh my God, man, that's like,
That's cool.
I think I born on the wrong year, the wrong generation, and then like I'm all right. They have the rank, and I understand and I start to fight more to get a better rank and
Yeah.
facing him like in the finals,
And they just start doing that for kids as well, right? Like they just start the kids rank.
Mm-hmm.
They started like a few days ago. I think it's gonna be cool.
I like this. I like the
Yeah,
rank.
I mean, I try not to look at numbers because numbers freaks me out. You know what I mean? Then keep me obsessed. Like I said in the beginning, I love compete, so I don't like to look to those numbers because then it drives me to try to do better. You know what I mean? So I don't even look to the numbers, but it's good for the kids for sure.
I think to everyone, it will be like motivated.
Yeah,
and,
yep.
They like see
Yep.
like each other. Maybe if I fought this tournament, I'd be
Yep.
this guy. I get the first
Yep.
rank or whatever.
And at PBJJF, we have people traveling to all tournaments to rank it up. So
Yeah.
this year also, we started ranking by belts for kids, adults, masters.
Yeah.
Um,
I think what you guys do for the ranking, it's pretty cool, because that's what the gym's looking for, right? Like to get the trophy, being the first in rank. You know what I mean? Even though like sometimes you go to a tournament, the guy put like 50 students and you put 2, and you know you're better than that school, but he got in first place. You know, he wanted to tell you he beat you. You know what I mean? Like it's good for the school. You know what I mean? So like, hey, dude, if you cannot put more students, it's your problem. The guy beat you. You know what I mean? It's
it
happening.
motivates people
Motivating.
Motivated,
bring
you know what I
more
mean?
people.
Like that's what happened actually to us. Like in one of your guys' tournaments, like we've been having this issue, right? Like because we have 4 or 5 gyms that competes under PBJJF, but then like the parents don't talk to the coach, then sign up on their Conquest,
different,
right? They
one,
train
yeah.
with me and they sign up under Conquest. It's like, no, that's the team gym. The team is Vicente Junior, right? And the same thing with Bar House. Then when we went to a tournament, we would have lost like by 2 points or 3 points to some other gym. Then you're like,
If you
guys, like,
if everybody under the
yeah,
same thing,
you know what I mean? Like, come on, like, wake up. You know what I mean? Then I think it's good.
And
It's
we're gonna
motivating.
have the Pan Ams and Worlds this year. You know, like we're gonna see who's going to be the first team,
Yeah.
the
Win
first
the
champions
event, yeah.
of.
So it's
the
very,
Pans and Worlds.
very interesting, right? Like subjective. The Pan Ams. I have hear a lot of stuff like kind of like, oh man, guys doing like pans, doing words, blah blah blah. Be more original, yada 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 yada. And I just keep like on my lane, just listen, right? And it's funny because like you just see like in the 90s when Carlinhos had the crazy idea to do words. You know what I mean? How many guys now is still world champion, even though they won like with 1 or 2 fights? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. They don't know how to fame.
They are.
That's true.
And one day,
You know what I mean? So
they will be on our first black belt champion.
so then that's the thing. Like, do you want to believe in the cause right now, or do you want to talk trash about it? You know what I mean? Then later on, you're gonna look behind it, just like, damn it.
I had the opportunity to be there.
You know what I mean? Like that's the way I see. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think you guys doing a good job on being crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On just being crazy.
Yeah, we are a little bit
Yeah.
crazy, but
Very crazy.
But here's the thing, like, who is succeed on life and it wasn't crazy? You know what I mean? It's like everybody that, you know, got somewhere, it was that crazy person that has this crazy idea that everybody look and just kind of like, hey, you're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, we had the conversation about, you know, registration, like brackets and stuff like that. A lot of things have, you know, reasons, right? Like, yeah, cool, like, let's change here, do stuff like that. But I think, like, what are you guys doing of pans and words, I think is a great, crazy idea that will come in a long way, right? Because, like, that's how it started, you know what I mean?
and you
Like,
really believe in that.
Yeah.
Really believe.
And we
Yeah,
want to
that's a-
support the East Coast.
Yeah.
Like we want to grow worldwide, but East Coast is our headquarters. You know, like
How was your
we
house?
see how many talents, how many people coach. Like you spend your whole life teaching jiu-jitsu, and you like when all the federation gave you that spotlight
Yeah.
that you deserve. You know, and
Yeah, it's funny you say that, right? I spent my entire career, right, like competing, and I get to the point that kind of like I don't even care anymore. But like it's funny you say that, like they spotlight, right? Like everybody, like today, do they really fight to be a fighter, or they just want to become famous, right? It's like two different things.
Two different things.
Right? And I remember like when I was a black belt, every podium. And I believe even for every belt, you remember like a Grace Magazine tatami, right? Like the those
Again,
like magazines back in
brands.
the day. I don't think we have tatami anymore, right? The
Tatami.
magazines,
No.
tatami still have it.
I don't
Choose,
know,
Or just-
I think
they're-
it's online, maybe online.
Yeah, maybe
online.
just
Online, I
online and
see
Instagram.
yeah.
But it was funny, like they have pictures of the podium on every year. Then in 2005, as a black belt, my second year as a black belt, I made to the podium. Guess which year they don't have a picture?
That year.
Like, I want my picture. How we made that?
Dude, like it even like if you look it up, like BJJF sometimes posts like because the year that Bibiano won, right? And when they told like happy birthday, it was like so bad that they don't even have a picture of Bibiano or the other guys on our division. And even the picture that BJJF have from Bibiano when they congratulate him for his birthday, it's him on the podium. Then it was Escorrega from Gracie Barra, which Escorrega lost to the second place. I lost to Bibiano in the semifinal. And I wasn't in the podium yet. And Escorrega was like, look how disorganized was. Escorrega was with like a backpack on his cell phone, flipping cell phone, like answer the call. That was how bad the picture was.
Oh my God. But you know, that's
So-
one thing we want to do better. We start doing that. Like now, everybody on the podium too. We gotta have like a camera taking pictures on each podium, and you need to be on a uniform. If that's a no gi
Yeah.
podium, you should wear
Yeah.
your no gi uniform. If you're on a gi podium, you should wear your gi podium
Yeah.
too. That's
Look-
like man,
look-
it'll be
yeah.
there forever.
Yeah, look my take on this rule enforcement, right? Like I 100% agree with you. You guys do a great job. Like we'll try to keep like a good referee system. It's still a lot of mess ups, right? Like you know, like every event has. I think you like anything else, you guys need to do a better job. And I don't think it's just the fact that you have black belts referees. Does that change anything? I don't think it has to be black belts. It has to be people that actually understand the rules, right? I think what you guys need to change in the black belts is their mentality to be more humble and understand when they made mistakes. Because sometimes you go talk to a black belt there and it's like, hey, I think you messed up the call. It's like, oh, I'm a black belt. I know what you're doing. It's like, hey, dude, you might be a black belt on the mat. You might be kicking my ass. You might be the best ass. You might be Buchecha, but doesn't make you a good
I
referee.
don't have. It's
Exactly.
completely
And
two
what we
different.
do, and what we do is we have the referees, and then we have the manager of the referees. So the manager will overlook all the referees and also be able to communicate better with the coaches. And another
Yeah.
thing we talk to everybody is
No, everybody in your event, like it's pretty very well, like you know, communicate. Like you guys do a very good job. Doesn't mean that can be better. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but
we
what,
can
yeah,
improve.
but what I'm saying about the rule enforcement, because I see, like, for example, I have a parent that one time complained to me about the uniform, right, the no-gi, and actually she has everything Brave. Right, like from the brand, like I think their sponsor was Elijah, and he went to a mat with the same uniform that he already fought the mat, and the ref say, "Hey, you cannot fight this. You need to change it." Then he had to go outside and buy another uniform. So I think has rules enforcement. 100%, I agree. It's education, right? And that most of the times comes down to the way the instructor teaches, right? So that will force the schools be better at, right? But like I think it has to be like a little bit of tolerance and more efficiency between everybody, because this is happening even on a BJJF, right? Like I'm just saying here because we have better communication, right?
Exactly.
Like I have seen on a BJJF, like in the C Open, I had a student walks in, competes, comes out, walks in, competes again. Then the other student go to the other side and try to compete, and the referee didn't let him in. Then he came down, it was the gi that was white, and like the bottom of the pants here was blue, right? And the other guy was using the same exact gi, the same exact brand, just the difference is that guy was white with blue, the other one was black with red. But that coordinator didn't see it, and that coordinator did see it, right? So it was a BJJF. It wasn't consistent, right? But then
it's we gotta work. We gotta get like what are we doing like with all of our
Now
staff? Like
education
we're
now.
training even more all these staffs to get to know all our system so they can communicate. If it pass, it gets to you, and then it passes to you. We have another person to look for that, and then we have another person to look for that until that person is not able to get to the match without
because I think even the referee, I think that's like the referee also can judge the gi, right? Like
Correct.
the referee, like
Yes.
feel
The
like
referee
sees
should be the
something
last
wrong.
one to see it.
Yeah, that's the last
Always
resource.
look,
Yeah.
let me see, gi correct, uniform correct,
And
then you
know
can come
about
in.
rules too. We start doing our own course, and it's not done yet. That's take time, But we work on this to like prepare our heifers and our staff. It will be like a staff course and like a heifer course, and we try get them most prepared to like judge better everything, and like run the event like in a good way too. Cause like sometimes that's not a heifer mistake, but like somebody who check his gear on the scale, you know what I mean? And then like pass for this one, but at the end, the heifer is the last
It's
to
the last one to
like to
watch.
check that,
And one thing we train our staff, our referees, but we're creating a course where we're gonna start educating all their schools, and maybe you having those schools that want to get their black belts
That's
or
a problem
anybody
too, cause they
to learn, and maybe they also can become a referee in PBJJF tournament. Like we have black belts, maybe brown belts, that they can do our course, they can learn, and also teach at our event. Like,
But like
and also
it's good too, sorry, cause but like for the instructor, because some instructors, some coaches don't know about the rules, and they ask and complain about some things like they don't know. And now after he do the course, he'll be more prepared to even coach the students.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. Like, the thing it is like I what I see with the referees, I did referee for many years, and I see like most of the referees like that's not that even they don't understand the rules, they don't understand jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? They're black belts, they train, but they like kind of like they're probably just hobbyists. They don't compete, or they just don't study jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? They just know basic jiu-jitsu. Then when they got on a 50-50, they like, old school, you know what I mean? And then you go back to that thing like what you don't understand, you talk trash about it because you don't want to teach, you don't understand, right? So I think like the black belts and the coaches and the referees, they need to understand jiu-jitsu without like judging the technique, you know what I mean? It's not about what you like or what you believe, it's about what jiu-jitsu is, right? Because the rules is already very complicated anyway, you know what I mean? Like, and I haven't seen referees. I actually I'm not going to mention his name here, but I was like a referee for a BJJF one time, and I tell the story in the gym all the time. I was, and it was like two referees, right? And this guy was referee. I was sitting there, watching the mat, and the guy swapped the guy and put a knee on belly and looked to the referee, and the referee was just there staring at him. And I was like, what the heck's going on? It's 2 points, right? So the ref didn't give the 2 points. So long story short, the guy ended up losing that match. And it was complained to the referee, walk out. Then the guy walks out, so we need to change. And I look to him and say, hey, dude, like, what's going on? Like, the guy swapped, and it was like 2 points. And then he's like, no, he was looking at me. I don't give. I was like, what? Then he's like, yeah, he was looking at me, man. I'm not going to give him 2 points. And I was like, dude, it's not about what he wants or what he asking you to do. It's his rights.
2 points or not?
It's the 2 points.
Just give it.
And you see like people do that. It's like, oh, I don't like wrestlers. Then like see the other guys are wrestlers and do everything so they can, you know what I mean? So got to make sure. I think like the referee course, and I think even a BJJF should get better in this. It's more teach about more about. It's not about what you like or what you dislike. It's about the rules. Here's the rules. Follow the rules. And do this, you know what I mean? Like, because we know, like, you came a generation, probably 2 generations after me, but, like, I'm from a time, it was only Gracie Barra, Carson, and Nova União, right? So, like, it's all about teams, right? Like, who's working there, who wasn't working there. Oh, you from this team, or were you not from this team? And now it's not like that anymore, right? Like, and it should not ever be like that back in the day before they start, right? But it used to be like that. And now, like, you see, like, still like that. You know, oh, this guy's training with Vicente, I don't like him. Oh, this guy's training with VJP, I don't like him. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, it's not about
That
who
should
you
be-
like or
yeah,
who
no.
that done.
At PBJJF, like we tell, like, just follow the rules. Don't even care about schools. We don't even allow, if professors from one school, we don't allow them to refer for the same school.
Same
you
thing.
know?
Good.
So
That
that's
should be
something-
common sense from him, right? Like, you see, like, sometimes in a BJJF, the guys, like, walk away. It's like, hey, Max, can you ref this
Yeah.
match? It's like, why? Oh, it's just, like, I know
That's
that
my
guy.
teammate, yeah.
Yeah, it's my teammate that trained with that guy. You know what I mean? Should be.
But like even
common
like
sense.
it's not a teammate, but like from the same team. Because sometimes you don't train together,
Yeah.
but on the same team. Man, if you don't wanna give, but like 0-0,
Yeah.
you can give or don't because maybe you're scared to give it to him,
Yeah.
and people think
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
want he
You
just
put you in a
walk out that.
position
And I mean,
where-
Yeah.
put it in a bad position. It's
Yeah.
better don't have for change.
Yeah.
Just with
On my hometown, I lost a lot of students because I always would give to another team. They will be mad at me. Then I was like, bro, like, you didn't do your
Don't leave-
job.
don't leave it
Yeah,
for
don't
me.
leave to me
Hey.
because I don't want that. I will give to the other guy. And I did that several times. And the guy's like, later on, was like, oh, screw you.
one time I'm a blue belt, man. I fought the Abu Dhabi trials, you know, in Natal. Julio refereed my match, but on the side, you know what I mean? Like three referees, he sit down there. Tough match, man. I did an advantage like on the last 30 seconds, you know. And I won, like, boom, celebrated, come to talk to the referee, stop face to him, like, thanks you did this advantage, cause you, and I'm gonna give you the win. I will look at him like, you my coach, man. What are you talking about? If it's 0-0, you should give it to me. And like, definitely no.
That's funny.
That's yeah. I think that's the way it should be. You know, like
Yeah.
that's what we want to see jiu-jitsu grow in a way where it's not biased.
Yeah.
You know, like it's open for everybody, and everybody's welcome to eventually become part of our group of staff referees. You know, whenever you have a student that would like to be, once we host the course, you see the that part of the office, right? Like that part we're going to be hosting the seminars, rule seminars, so to really educate it. And we know it's planting the seeds, you know. Like we have to touch every single school, try to explain the why we're doing things, you know. Like that's the hardest job, like educating throughout what we believe than just letting people do, you know. When you talk about rules, it's easier to let people go, like all their tournaments. They bring white belts to refer their event. It's easy. Hey, you, refer. Hey, you, you.
You know, stick down
Rule.
2.
Yeah, hey, two. Good. It's easy to
Pass
do
is
that.
3,
It's the
mount is
easiest
4, okay,
route.
go.
It's like coming, letting people do whatever they want at your school. It's easy, but reinforce rules because of what you believe in the long term and the success and the benefits of your students. It's way more important than you have to be.
Oh, yeah.
You're like kids. You're like a kid. Hey, don't grab here. Don't hold here. Hey, if you hold this, it's gonna happen. That's why we don't do this. You know, like it's harder. It takes time.
Yep.
So we're really trying to do that. You know, like trying to really educate it in what we believe. Not saying that other people are wrong. You know, well, one thing we do, like we're focused on safety. We just saw what happened in California, right? Like. And we're also bringing a lawyer, Jeff. He's coming tomorrow to talk to us about what happened and how schools can be prepared and safer if something happened, or be more prepared for that in all terms, and explain what happened throughout the law case. So, and like we get back to the safety, right? Like I asked him, hey, if I am a coach and I know this tournament is dangerous, and I invite and tell my students to go there, am I being negligent? He's like, of course. Because you're telling people to go to a tournament that you know is dangerous. So one thing is like, don't say anything, or don't advise them to go, you know. And what we do at PBJJF, we're trying to create the best scenario for professors and instructors to be comfortable and safe of telling their students to compete at PBJJF tournaments. You know, that's a way of, and not even for PBJJF, we follow we see other federation. We look what is important to see outside of our organization, but how can the other organizations be more prepared for this? You know, like make sure maybe the other federations are going to start looking to those aspects as well. You know, which is harder because you have to be consistently trying to tell and explain the why and re-educate people that already know in another way.
Yeah,
you know?
it's hard.
It's
It's
like
very hard.
bringing a student with the bad habits in your school. It's harder than teaching someone new with no bad habits. You know.
Yeah. And that's what I learned too. Like when I start teaching class, you know, like we all have that issue with that white belt that comes in, do something, and you're supposed to bow, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. But actually, it's your fault that he's doing it, right? Like it's your job, educate him, right? So like if he doesn't do right, it's because you're doing you're not doing a good job, educate, right? And I'm guilty with that, right? Like I used to kind of like judge the students the first class, and now like I was like, hey, look, make sure when you go to the bathroom, I'm sorry, professor. Hey man, don't worry about it. Like
you don't know that before.
You don't know. You're not supposed to know, figure out. So that's my job here to help you out, right? Like I think most instructors need to understand that, right? Like I think because I came from judo, right? Like rather to like the jiu-jitsu itself, like because jiu-jitsu, like we were talking off before about, like I think we should do better job as a coaches and everything. And always were about, the respect, the discipline, you know what I mean, the mats or higher belts and the safety and stuff like that. So I really like the way you guys do that job, you know what I mean? But it definitely is gonna take a while. It's gonna hurt a lot of people because some people don't like it, you know what I mean? But guess what? Nobody likes change, you know what I mean? We don't like change. When things change, you know what I mean? Even if it's for the better, we're like, I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's like it is what it is.
No, that's true. And I think we should all learn for experts, right?
Yeah.
Like you're an expert. When someone comes to your school, they should look at you like, okay, professor, all right, should I do 20 of this? Okay, I'm going to do 20 of this because you're the expert. It's like sometimes like it's like me, that person going to your school and telling you what to do for themselves, like, hold on, wait. Learn first, get used to it, and then maybe you're gonna be understanding the purpose of what we're trying
definitely.
to do, And we tell like sometimes unfortunately what some people can see as a benefit in other ways in other organizations can be really something that can cause really bad things on their side, if something happens.
Yeah, you need to understand, like, you guys gonna have like a difficult road because we're having so many local tournaments that people, pay like a little money to get like this many matches, blah blah blah, and people are not really concerned. Like, and then they say it's like, oh, that's how many people got hurt, blah blah blah. Yeah, but got hurt, right? It's like, to me, it's a big win. Just the fact that your tournament don't have people walk around without a t-shirt and underwear, you know what I mean? Like, people watching know which tournament I'm talking about, because like people love to do that here, right? Like, and I think it's so disrespectful, right? I don't like my students walk without a t-shirt in the gym. You know what I mean? Like, I tell them, it's like, hey dude, like that's why we have locker room, you know what I mean? Oh, but it's like just dudes here, right? Then I was like, no, yeah, but my family, kid's here, right? My wife's there, like, you know what I mean? And I'm not...
Someone's wife is there.
Yeah. They cannot even look into me and say, it's like, oh, you complain because you're fat and you don't look in shape. It's like, guess what? I'm in shape. I have 6 packs. I'm strong. But I don't walk around in a t-shirt. You know what I mean? That's like, that's why we have a beach. To go to the beach and take off our clothes right there. You know what I mean? Or go to the pool. But I think, like, people look for that experience, like to have like 100 matches and pay like $80, whatever it is.
Probably when
you know
they
what I
get
mean?
there and lost all the 10 mats.
Exactly. I literally don't understand. Like, that was my point. Like, I want to have the experience. Really? Do you want to have experience to lose 10 matches?
And the problem,
like,
you have to coach them all the 10 times. You're like,
That's
just
hard
start.
part.
Don't. It's an
exactly.
enough.
Yeah, dude, done.
Like we can, like when we do that, it's like, hey, we want people to have experience. At least, hey, if you lose two, you have at least two. Losing, you have at least two.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good format. You know what I mean? Like you got the chance to lose, warm up, and go again. If you lose again, bro, like train harder. You know what I mean? But like five guys on the bracket, and you have to roll like 5 times. Man, like, and that's what I don't understand, right? Like people complain, man, I go to this tournament, blah 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 blah, and I stay there the whole day so long.
Disorganized it.
So why do you go? Why are you doing?
Why you come back?
Yeah, why you come back? And I understand, like, you know, I have a student right now, like I'm telling Bain, he just won Pan Ams, right? And you know, he's getting to a level that he's not gonna he's on an NBA. He's not gonna play basketball in someone's backyard, right? So then when you go to the tournaments, he goes there, he looks to who's there. He's like,
I'll have a challenge.
I'm not. It's not worth it to me. It's like $120 and have one match with a white belt, right? That's how he thinks. But you know, and I was talking to his dad about it. Say, man, he's gonna get on a point that you know that the PBJJF is gonna have a tournament. Is gonna have a people challenging him. So then you know, maybe if you go 1 time or 2 times, then people will like, oh, Bain's there. Oh, you know what? I want to fight him. You know what I mean? Like,
because
but
they see him competing, winning Pan Am.
Yeah. And I don't understand. Like, this is what happened with my son, right? Like I'm not going to talk about tournament names, but I hate this is a specific tournament, and my son's like, Dad, I want to compete there. And as soon as I put his name there, it shows up another 2 kids from another gym just to fight him. I was like, oh, great. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna have some challenge, and he did have some challenge, and it was great because it could expose like some of his mistakes, right? And like I have some parents sometimes like they wait for the last minute to registration, right? Like I'm totally opposite. Tournament open up registration, name's there. You know what I mean? Guess what? Like people will see my name there. 1, 2 will happen, or they will not sign up because they're afraid of me, or they will sign up because they want to beat me up.
Yeah. And you're gonna be more prepared because now you know you're competing. Now I have 2 months to compete. It's like instead of
to prepare
I think
yourself.
I'm gonna compete.
Some people like, I compete tomorrow. Go sign up.
But that's the thing. The problem, like people don't understand the mathematically behind the tournament, right? Like you see that happen all the time at BJJF DC Open, right? Reach full capacity. Then you see people online. I don't understand why they close registration. Only have 1 guy on my division. It's not about your division. It's about the capacity of the tournament. Maybe it's nobody on your division, but the tournament is already hit to, like, I think André told me one time, I think to do like those opens, they need 800 competitors, something like that. So it reached the capacity of that time.
Like,
done. They don't need you there. You know what I mean? And that's why people...
Probably over that, they need to do 2 days, and they rent to the spot for 1 day maybe, whatever.
Yeah, other thing I don't agree. I say that in the gym all the time. Many times I went to, even Pan Ams, I would sign up and I have 2 guys on my division, right? And I will go there and I would say, I was like, damn it, just like 2 matches, right? And the guys wasn't even that great. And I have situations at the tournament, I would sign up, I have 1 guy, and when I get check-in date, the guy would disappear. Then the people was like, oh, you champion with 1 medal. Yeah, no fight. Yeah, you're right.
That's not my fault. I'm there.
But it wasn't my fault.
You're prepared to be there.
I worked hard. I did everything. I went there. The guy didn't show up. The guy pulled out last minute. The guy maybe got hurt. Maybe the guy died. Who knows? You know what I mean? It's not my fault. But then people's like, oh, you paid $200 for the medal and you got a T-shirt, blah, blah, blah. Dude, like, shit happens. Guess what? Your first opponent is your mind. If you beat your mind, you training, you make weight, you went there. And I really actually like what BJJF started doing it, because before you will sign up for a division, and if it's nobody or if the guy doesn't show up, you didn't even have to weigh in. It was like 5, 6, 7 years ago, right? Then at one point they start doing it because people start doing that for the ranking to make money, right? I have a few athletes I know that would sign up just on a bigger division. The guy was like life feather, and we will go like to middle, nobody there, so they will weigh in, don't have to do diet, make the points. For you know what I mean, dude. People do that. You can do that, Max.
No, I can, but I one time I fought like the Chicago Open, and one lightweight from another school like needed points to fight Worlds. That's like close to Worlds, and he come to me like, Max, I signed up in the ultra heavyweight, but like definitely I don't want to fight with you. Please let me win. Just fight the open class. I'm like. And he convinced me, like, I'm okay, man, go there. Well, we're not gonna fight, okay? We lost by walk over. And he make his point and he fight worse.
Right. That's good for him. But like, yeah, I know a lot of people that will go up division with nobody just to get points and be in a rank so they couldn't get paid or they could, you know what I mean? Then like, then BJJF started like, oh, okay, you gotta check weight. Then now, like, I think they don't give points anymore for if you are alone in your bracket.
Fight
so one thing we do at PBJJF, we find a match for every single athlete. Like, we find the closest match for every single athlete.
Nobody
really leave without fighting, you know? So it's something we try to put together where everybody can come and have a competition experience, you know?
Yeah, this happened, like, recently. I think... I think like my son has 2 gray belts. He's orange.
He had to be moved up.
Yeah, and I think Elijah was like Elijah was yellow. He got his orange now, but then he fought 2 white belts, and people's like, oh man, you put a video of the kids beat up like lower belts. Then I was like, let me tell you a story. One time I took this kid. It was actually a gray belt, and he went to the orange belt division on this tournament because there's nobody in his division. And guess what? He won. And it was my kid. So now it was the opposite. He could have lost for those gray belts. So it's never a win, right? Like if you lose to the gray belt, everybody talks shit because you lost to a lower belt. Then if you beat the lower belt and you make a highlight, you're an asshole. I'm sorry, guys, because you make a highlight beating the white belt, gray belt.
No win. You'll never win.
Really?
You'll never win.
Oh man, it's funny. Like people are just like you. So bottom line, like I think like that's my opinion. Like I just want to congratulate you guys for you guys doing a great job. But I love what you guys doing. I talked to you about it, right? Like I think we're already in Brazil. We experienced this. You know, everything was Rio, São Paulo, Rio, São Paulo, Rio, São Paulo, and you see guys like Xande Ribeiro, you know, Jacaré, Saulo, you know what I mean, Omar Saloon, people come from the north, Brazil, northeast, and they start winning stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm from a time, if you don't have money at jiu-jitsu, you cannot afford a gi, you cannot afford gym, you couldn't afford anything. And you see all the successful guys, it was the guys that have money. You know, have the parents backing up them, like, to do it. Like, only few guys that didn't have money, you know, Jacaré, you know, that's the only one that can come right now in my mind. But, like, Bibiano, on my division, you know, Escorrega, all those guys. But then now we had the chance, right? Like you guys had the chance to change the view here on the East Coast because everything on the West Coast, right? Like everybody's like, oh, Men's Brothers, oh, Atos, oh, these guys, oh, Aries, oh, this. It's like, oh, like, look
we
this.
have jiu-jitsu here, guys.
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
like Max, right? Like you, world champion, like we have those kids like many times pan champion, right? Like we have like Lloyd Irving got, you know, like 2 gi world champions that do black belts, right? No gi world champions. Like what's wrong? Why the media don't talk about it, right? Because maybe we don't pay enough, maybe, you know what I mean? Like people don't invest. I don't know. You know what I mean?
That's why we decide to do it. That's exactly why.
They force us.
They really force us to do it.
Yeah.
Like we're always talking about people. We had a podcast during the COVID, the pandemic, and people are like, oh, you guys talk about the media. It's like, why don't you do yours media? Like what people say, but they never do it. So we're like,
we're gonna do.
Let's do it. They talk about live streaming, blah blah. I was like,
Why not?
We can do it. We can do it.
Yeah.
Like there's sometimes you guys are saying you don't do it.
Do nothing.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah, we're gonna do it, right?
We're gonna do it. And we cannot do it by ourselves. Like all these schools owner, all the professors,
Yep.
they are
Part.
backing us up. Like
Yeah.
they are making it possible. Like you are coming, supporting us. You are making it possible. We can't do this by ourselves. You know, we really need the support from the
But it would be
community.
me and JP talk with each other.
And
Or like
even
play
the
the
tournaments, whatever.
You
FIFA
come, you
2023.
You come, you bring your students, you prepare your students, you know, like you get them ready. Like you're really making
Yeah.
the whole community.
Yeah, we
grow.
help each other. Like that's the goal, right? I'm trying. Like I think it's a great idea. I think what you guys doing like is gonna change. Obviously, it's gonna people's gonna look. Oh, this is crazy. But like we have so many talents here. Like in Maryland itself. You know what I mean? On Maryland itself. Like you guys just had Tadaya. You know what I mean? I remember Tadaya
like a child. Right?
child, right? Like he's a great kid, man, great person. Like love his
Yeah.
dad, like his mom, like they great,
Really
they great people,
respectful.
great people. You know what I mean? And you need more people like that on jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Like people talking about West Coast all the time. West Coast. Yeah, guess what? Last time West Coast, I heard about it. They all fail on a drug test.
That's right. No, I think that's exactly like. I think of 10 years from now, people gonna
My
watch
bad.
this.
Down south, dude.
But like when you look back, like I think 10 years from now, people are gonna look at those videos and be like, man, those guys really had a vision, about it. Like we really
A
had
little
a vision.
crazy, but they had a
Crazy,
vision.
they're
Yeah.
gonna look back. Like you see videos of like Elon Musk, like whatever. We're not talking about being big as those guys, but like when you watch them back, you're like, man, those guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Like if you were at that time, those guys are insane. There's no way this is gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what Carlinhos
know.
did for Pans. Like I think he rent like a plane to bring all the first Pan Am's championship. It was Hawaii, I guess.
I think so, yeah.
Hawaii?
I think it was Hawaii.
Hard,
yeah.
right? To go to Hawaii?
Yeah, he
Logistics,
rent a plane. Yeah, look it up the story. Like he rent a plane and he invite all the head trucks with like Carson, like all the guys from Sao Paulo. Like Fernando Yamazaki was one of the first that goes there. It was like the first pain. Like he's like, no, I have this crazy idea. We're gonna do Pan Am. The first pains. It was like,
Even the first, I watched one podcast back, and they did the second Brazilian national, I think so, called the first Brazilian national. The guy from Nova União did it. What his name?
Luizinho.
No,
That?
Dad did the first Brazilian national, and he like, no, that's too much work. And I gonna do. And Carlos.
Oh, okay,
maybe say,
under
Pederneiras, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said that, and he like, yeah, think we can do. They did it, and like all the staffs after when the event run, but after the staffs talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's like, man,
Crazy.
this is crazy. This is never gonna happen again.
Max.
We done it to that. And Carlos after like,
And, like, we're not
it's
doing-
awesome. One day we gonna do event in
All over the
all
world.
over the world.
Dude, like World Championship back in the day, people used to referee on their gi pants.
True.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On their gi pants with a hat on. You know what I mean? Like tank top. You know, that's how people used to referee. You know what I mean?
That's
These
how it
guys-
started,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how that's how like a legend like Master Fabio Gurgel won words. You know what I mean? It
that's
wasn't
right.
that words with the guys refereeing with the
With the-
gi pants.
and-
But
and-
this is necessary to be kids.
And one thing we talk about, like, hey, we never gonna forget the people that support us when we are as we are at this time. Like we're small compared with other federations. So we really we don't forget that. Like who really believed on us when it was hard to believe. So I think this is really important. And that's the time, right, where people really like, hey, giving the support to the cause.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you guys doing pretty good, man. Like, and you guys changed real quick. I remember, like, I went to that tournament, and you guys last minute. I remember you talk to me about, like, man, I saw this on the phone, and I thought it would be big, and everybody was complaining. Right next tournament you did in a bigger place.
Yeah.
And now this tournament you're gonna do in a bigger venue. You know. My son is one of your biggest supporters, man. He's like, oh, do videos. He's like excited. He goes in the gym because he's helping me teach the kids class. Then at the end of the class, I always ask him. I was like, okay, guys, end of the class, Gabriel, did I forget something? I was like, guys, PBJJF this week, and don't forget. And I was like,
Just post
He's like all the time. It's him. He's awesome. He's awesome.
He's
a character.
Jiu-Jitsu champion. We know, like the past. If he keeps going to that path and have you as a mentor, you know, like, hey, you're in a pretty good spot, you know, like have you.
You should keep it doing.
Just listen. If he's able to do the work and listen to what you have to say, you know, advise him to not make mistakes you probably made throughout your journey. You know, like. You're gonna be
learning for somebody's mistake.
Yeah. That's the idea.
Definitely we need to have yours, but if you can learn from somebody.
Like I say, Jiu-Jitsu you learn, you win or you learn. I'd rather to be dumb and keep winning.
That's true.
Well, CJ, thank you so much, man.
No, and
thank
you.
you.
Have a sponsor too, right?
Yeah. It's that's the Jacko Fuel, like the guys from Origin. Being with them like recently. Actually, I know the owners, the Echo Peter. For a long time, but like I started with Bad Boy in 2003. Then I remember Peter one time when we went to the Origin camp, and he's like, VJ, be part of the team, blah blah blah. Then I was like, man, I'm a Bad Boy, blah blah blah. Then now we had a conversation, and now I'm there with them, and I'm really good friends with Keep folks too. That Method Mindset is a great guy. He's one of the co-founders of Under Armour. He's like a great guy. He's a savage, man. The guy every morning like wake up, like jump in the ice, go run like freaking 4 or 5 miles.
Just to start the day.
Great guy. Great guy.
Come to the
for sure.
Podcast.
Yeah. He just I was actually texting him when I was coming here. He was like flying from I don't remember where he goes. He was like with Cameron Hayes. Like all the guys that hunt know it's pretty famous Cameron Hayes. And like he's pretty good friends with him, so he was there like doing a podcast with him. So Kip is one of my private students and a good friend of mine. So like now I'm there like supporting Jacko Few and Origin.
Hey,
so, nothing against Brave Geese. You guys have a great thing
Brave
going on.
The best, but we have a great company as well that support the U.S. factory, right? They produce
That's a nice thing too.
So like,
they bring everything here.
They're making it possible. Nowadays it's really hard to make this happen.
It's pretty actually affordable, and if you think about it, quality material for like make here like a very quality material, like their gis, their jeans pants, everything. Like all their drinks, their supplements are, like natural. It's really good. That's why I drink. I hate pre-workouts, but I hardly drink anything that doesn't go through. Doesn't go through my wife, and she's like, and she approve it. My son's nutrition.
Where do they sell those?
He's selling now on a Wawa. The Wawa's has, but if you go to their website, jackofuel.com. And if you use the code VJBJJ10, you got 10% discount.
Hey, VJBJJ10.
Yep.
Number
Go
10.
to jacko.com.
Yeah. Yep.
Jacko.com.
Nice. Jackofuel.com or like Origin. Yep. So
awesome.
Cool.
We like to see the support and give the whatever support we can to whoever support our.
Thank you guys. Again, congratulations for the work you guys doing it.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I have a lot of contact, but most often with Max. With you, not too much.
That's right.
But
we're still we're And one funny thing, can I say one funny thing here? When I moved to the U.S., I moved to someone brought to teach in a place that came out of his school, and I didn't even know anything. And the person left without. Kind of like behind it, right? It was kind of I got in a position where like, we're like, I have nothing to do with this. Like, hey,
It's like, I'm sure that's normal.
but nowadays we can see better, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's still happening, but like we see that sometimes people arrive here, they don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, it happened the same thing to me too. Like when I moved to Delaware with the guy that brought me there, it was another guy from actually De La Riva teaching there. Then the guy was kicked out because the guy wasn't paying him. Then he brought me in. Then the guy got mad at me. Then later on, I find out he did to him basically what he did to me later. Like, you know what I mean? He's always the same thing. Yeah.
Always keep doing
He's always keep doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, like most people think our life here is easier. You know what I mean? But I have no idea like the difficulties. And I remember that. I remember that situation. I actually like when the first time it happened. I remember like João coming and like. JP coming and like someone's like, oh yeah, the guy's open a gym, blah blah blah, and I had no problems with anybody, you know what I mean? I'm pretty good with it. But like then I remember like when I know like he was there, then someone I think came later is like, oh yeah, like he's not there anymore. That's like he wasn't coming, maybe like come and train. Then I was like, no, tell him like he didn't want to come here before, so I don't want him here now. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be friends with it. He didn't want to be friend before. Why he wants right now? But you know, like then times passed, and we realized, you know, like it wasn't his fault. It was the guy's fault. But it happens a lot, man. Like this has happened a lot. It actually happened to me. Pretty much the same situation.
Happened to me too, man. Oh my God.
And
Thiago,
and like every person, like at least once.
You know, one thing like people don't understand in Brazil, like we all look to America as example of the American dream, right? Like the justice, liberty. But guess what? It's bad people here just like in Brazil, you know what I mean? People with bad character just like everywhere else. And like
we're very hard, right? Like in Brazil, like we're very like
And the thing it is like Brazilians, like we're more like kind of like, for example, we come to each other like if our business is not going very well, we come like face to face like, hey man, like things not going very well, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Let's try to figure out here people are very like kind of like, okay, let me send him a text. And you're like, bro, let's have a conversation, you know what I mean? But it's like, or let me send him an email.
And send him and just say like, you're not proper for nothing, or like, I don't need your service anymore.
Yeah.
And done.
Yeah.
Just go.
And then done. Yeah.
I think we have a because like we kind of connect ourselves to when we were in that spot, right? It kind of bring the romantic, like emotional, right?
Kind of like a love story, right?
Yeah. I was like, man, that happens to me. I don't want this to happen to this person, you know. Like, it happens to someone else, and I told Max, maybe advise the guy.
I did my job.
And then I was like, I don't think that should come from me, but
I don't know. The problem with the human being, like when you know, and I learned that with all my years experience, right? Like you imagine this way, right? Like we met right now, and you come into States, American dream, and the guy comes to you, is like, hey JP, look, here's your house, here's your car, and you're like, maybe you come to a situation, you never drove a car, you never had a car, you barely have a motorcycle, then now you live in America, right? Doesn't matter like which neighborhood, you don't know about it. Then I come to you and I say, hey João Paulo, look, open your eyes, like I don't think it's that way. True. Then you're gonna look like, oh man, VJ's just jealous. You know what I mean? He wants to take my job, he wants to do that. People don't listen. You know what I mean? That's why, like, now when one of my students come from Brazil, I always tell them and say, hey, this is what happened to me. This is my story, right? So this is what I can do for you, right? So I'm not promising you anything. I just want you to come, you know, do a tournament fight, see if you like, if not, stay here 3 months, 6 months, go back. If you want to stay, then we go through the legal channels and process so you can stay. So in the worst case scenario, you're going to learn how to speak English.
And you're going to have a new experience, right?
Yeah. And that's the worst case scenario. And I tell them the same thing people told me. You know what I mean? Like, worst case scenario, you're going to have a good experience. You're going to have a new story in your life. And you're going to learn how to speak English better. And I try to share the experience with them. Like, some people work out. Some people didn't work out. You know, but... yeah, man, it's difficult. It's to everybody, man. Like, people already learn the system, the process, then they try, like, to use that process to take advantage of you, pay you, you know what I mean? And we have a problem, too, with a lot of other black belts that come here just because they want to teach a few months. make money under the table, buy an iPhone, go back to Brazil with the cash. Then it just kind of like it feels like how can I use that word? I don't want to be so drastic, but it's like a black belt prostitute. You know what I mean? Just wanted that little money, then devalue your work.
Yeah.
Then when
But
you
sometimes not just that. Like I feel that guy never see you that much money. It's like at $1 here, it's 5 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he promised you sometimes like I don't know, $2,000. That's
Yeah.
a lot of money in Brazil.
Yeah.
But you can survive with that money here in the
Yeah.
USA, you know? And then like I pay you that money for a couple months, and like you discover you can live here with this one, and you need to
Yeah.
go back to your account.
Yeah.
Well, one thing also
Yeah,
we
that
try to
happens too.
advise
Yeah.
people, sorry from cutting, is like advise is we try to tell the truth. Hey,
Yeah.
it's great, but know where you're going. See, you want to have kids? See the neighborhood. See where your kid's going to
Yeah.
study. See the cost of living.
Yep.
You know, see about like trying to advise so people don't make the same mistakes we
Yeah.
made.
Yeah, but that's exactly what Max says. You know, like some guys doesn't even have the goal to stay here. Like they just want to make that $1,000 easier and just go back. You know what I mean? Because they know now he has $6,000 in Brazil. Then that devalue your work because then you want to get, you know, you worth of like a $5,000 a month. But now the guy says like, yeah, but I have the other black belt, the world
Doing the
champion,
same job.
just like you, and he was here Monday to Friday, and he was getting paid like 1,000. You know
But
what I
he's
mean?
not
Yeah,
consistent.
but he's going back. You know
He's
what I mean?
going back.
Like,
He's
you
not
know,
gonna
and
do the,
how much. And this is one thing. Like it actually, us on Conquest, we always tell the students like, look, we had the schedule for more than 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, we have the same instructors, the same schedule for over 10 years, right? Like, how many schools around the area has the same schedule? You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So, like, stuff like that, people don't understand. And I remember, I didn't catch that back in the day, but I remember, like, many times we'll have people like brown belts or purple belts, just people with a little bit more experience on jiu-jitsu. From here, the first question they will ask me was like, what's your plan? Like, you think about like buy a house around here, you stay? Because they already knew like all the black belts who were coming to the area. But, you know what I mean? Like, we have like a guy with many titles. I'm not going to mention the name. He's pretty famous. He's on all the fame. And he came to the state that was leaving before and did that. He was just there for a few months to get his paperwork done, to get his green card, and left. You know what I mean? And left. Anybody ever was like, oh, what's the guy? Then he
Do
left.
I know that guy? No, don't tell me. Do I know? Would I know? Would
Oh yeah,
I know?
everybody knows. Yeah, everybody knows the guys. Like, so, you know, people do that all the time. You know, like they come like to a place that it's really easy to get stuff, then they move away. So then it takes away your credibility. You know what I mean? Your professionalism. Then you like you try to sell yourself, and people look at you kind of like, oh, you're a fraud, like because this guy came here. Oh, I can't have this. You know what I mean? So,
But I think the root. Do you have a roots? You don't say you have the roots sometimes, but you have your jiu-jitsu roots, right, in the U.S. So I think people look back to your journey, like people that know me know what I did throughout the course of my journey, jiu-jitsu journey, and they respect that.
That's true.
And people will tell that to others, you know, like I think that's
yeah, it's your value,
Well,
man. You need to sell yourself for what you think you're worth it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And put your time on. I was having that conversation when I was driving here. I'm doing that even with firearms right now, right? Like, the guy's, oh, I want a private. This is how much it is. And the guy's like, oh, it's too expensive. It's like, you don't have to do
you
it.
cannot.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. Like,
That's
if you,
the price.
yeah, if you, that's the price. That's the same thing with my jiu-jitsu price. That's the same thing with my classes and everything. And like what I put, it's like it's my 21 years of black belt. It's my
Your
all times
experience.
like mentorship other students. You know what I mean? You see like many instructors, you see that all the time. People like posting on Instagram like every year. You see that every end of the year, right? It's like the instructor's like that many medals, blah blah blah. This is what he got. It's like, okay, it's like now show me the medals that your students achieved. You know what I mean? Show me now like your school. Show me now like what you have done outside your training. Take steroids and winch stuff. You know what I mean? Like what you have done.
No.
Nothing. So you know what I mean. Like then that's what I do. Like look to my career, like what I have done as a person, as a coach, as a instructor, as a father, as a husband. You know what I mean. That's what you were paying for. You know what I mean. Because my titles is my achievement.
No.
That's what I pay for. You know what I mean. I can't teach you what I did. I can't show you how I did. You know what I mean. How much you have to work. But it's up to you decide to go or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I pay a lot for it. Are you willing to pay for it? You know what I mean? Like that's the thing.
And that pay is not just about money.
No,
Yeah.
For sure not.
price. You gotta pay the
Yeah.
price, for all the
Man,
hard work.
like my jiu-jitsu, my shooting instructor, right? Like he does classes like every he I think he has one day between classes. A 2 days class, 16 hours. And he's a perfect example of that, right? Like he's charged like his average of his classes, make the math, is like $500. It's like some classes like 7 something, some classes like 4 something, but the average is $500. 24 students per class. How much? 12 grand, right? Last time when I had that conversation with him last year, he had done over 100,000 classes. The guy makes like over $1 million just teaching, right? But like he puts so much time and he's good at it. You know what I mean? And he's good at
And
it.
it's the knowledge, right? Like
Yeah,
he-
and
instead of
he knows how to teach, and he shows you. Like I'm a good example of that, right? Like if you seem like you use his technique shooting, you're like, and I'm shooting for 2 years, and I go with the guys that have been shooting like for 10 years, 20 years, and
And
look
you
to me,
should've
it's
done
like,
that.
what? You've been shooting for 2 years? Then I was like, yeah, I've been shooting for 2 years. Then I was like, what? How does that, then now like I
I
get
pay
the
the
guy.
price.
Then now, like, I got a guy comes in and is like, hey, can you, when are you going to go shoot, Because now everybody wants to shoot with me, wants to go like, oh, can I shoot with you? It's like, yeah, if you want to go shoot with me, I teach you a private. It's like, oh, how much is it? It's like, oh, $400. It's like, how many hours? Like 3 hours, 4 hours, the time, like, I would take to teach you something. Oh, it's too much money. Well, here's the thing. I learned in 2 years, right? And I can share with you in 4 hours a little bit or how I did to get there. So do you know how much money I spend on ammo, guns, and trips to get where I am? That's the same thing with jiu-jitsu. Guy come in and is like, oh, I want to.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
Life.
He's like, oh man, I want to have a private to you. $300 an hour. Oh, damn. It's like, bro, 20 year plus of black belt. I'm 50 degree black belt. It's like, I want this, I want that. I put this much time on it. You know what I mean? You spend like, how much? You have like $300,000 debt on your college degree? Dude, I have 2 times of this on my black belt degree.
That's
That's
right.
true.
You know what I mean?
I
Way
told you
more.
on the last
Yeah.
podcast too. If they know how much I imagine that cost, they get crazy.
Yeah,
Because
man,
it's
like,
way more than
yeah,
was
yeah.
cost.
Yeah, and it's funny because like just after I moved to the United States and I started doing my taxes, that I realized how much money I spend with stuff on jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Because I had to,
Write off.
write off. Then I was like
Like, man,
this,
I traveled just to
this
that
year,
place and spend all the money to
Yeah.
compete and
this,
fight.
this year I was like, just this year was like almost like over $30,000 on trips. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I was like, what?
Investment,
I don't make that
investment.
money.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't make
Like
that
how
money.
I spend that money.
Yeah, I don't make that money. I was like, man, that's cool. $30,000, baby. How do we make that money? I don't know. Let me
It's,
check my credit cards.
That's right.
Yeah, I was like,
It's
damn.
true. Like you gotta look the
you know.
work you put on it, and I think be an example. Like I think doing what you're doing, you're be an example for other professors. So they look up to you and like, oh, that's how I should think about my jiu-jitsu. Think about my private lessons. Think
Yeah.
about my business. So.
They should give value to themselves, man. They put a time on it. Like, what are you guys doing right now? Put a time on it. That's what most people don't understand, right? Like, you guys charge like that much money for the registration, right? Like, what the value it's behind it. Maybe it's expensive, and maybe it is. You know what I mean? Compared to what? Compared to the other tournaments, right? But what are you getting out of it? Is only the safety only? it's only the referee or it's the whole, the whole package.
Yeah,
You know what I
whole
mean? Like
package,
people.
And what is more valuable for you of those aspects, right? It's more valuable for you to fight more matches. Cool. But I don't care about
So
safety.
here's one thing I learned when way back in the day when I was jiu-jitsu, had a beef with judo on my hometown, right? Like, was judo people didn't want to train jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu don't want to train judo, right? It's
And
always
both
talking
complete
shit.
each other,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. Everything is like a watch. The small piece, if you take it off, it's not gonna work.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like it's gonna go, it's
Yeah,
gonna stop.
that's true.
So to me, like I learned that one of my judo senseis told me that he loved jiu-jitsu, and like he was the only guy actually supporting me to train jiu-jitsu. All the other jiu-jitsu, the judo guys was just kind of, oh man, this
Forget
blah, blah,
about
blah.
this.
Yeah, then he's like, look, see martial arts. He was actually he was he's Argentino. Then he's like Julio, his name. He's like, look, this is like a watch. If you take it the small piece, it's not gonna work. Then I was like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I never thought about it. You know what I mean? So like, and I was reading another book another day about every time I forget the name of the guy, man. My wife probably is gonna. She was watching this right now. She's mad at me. But anyway, the guy was talking about. I will remember. Let me look it up here real quick. Every time I listen to podcasts and I forget the name. She's
I
gonna
do
be
that too.
so
Sometimes
mad.
I know the book name.
She's
I
gonna
don't
be
know the
so
author.
mad at me.
yeah.
She's like, "Are you really like you looking at this?" Tim Grover. Tim Grover. He was like the coach of Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, all the guys. And when he does it, he was saying like the list because he like which is the most important for you, right? What it is the most important, right? Like, and to me, I already before I read this book, to me it's the package. It's not like number one,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, right? So he's saying in this book that everything he's right for his trainers, right? Like his people that he's mentoring is like, okay, you gotta this number one, you gotta do this. Number one, you gotta do this.
Everything is
Number one, you gotta do this. Then like the person asks, is like, Tim, like I know it's like everything in your book is number one, chapter number one, blah 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 blah, chapter number one, blah blah blah. And he's like, because when you imagine a nutritionist, right, comes to you and give you like a list, a number of 10 things that you need to do. You're never gonna do the number 9, 8, or 5 because you think the number one is most important. But what is most important is the whole
The
package.
package. Which is what we always see, like safety.
Yep.
Trained referees, being on time tournaments.
Be on time is really important.
Everybody wants to go home,
right?
Being organized.
Yeah.
Live stream. Then we do extra live stream.
But like you said, like everybody
You
need to
know.
go home. I feel like it's really important to everyone right there, man. For the fighters, for the coach, it's like disrespectful. You like, you check it here. It's like fight 10:30. You get there like in 9:30 or and you're just gonna fight like 3 p.m. Man,
4, 5.
that's disrespectful
Yeah,
with
that's
you, with your
disrespectful.
coach,
And your
with
coach.
people who.
I went to tournaments that I had to stay. You probably know what we're talking about.
I know, I'm sure.
After midnight,
Oh yeah.
coaching from 8 a.m. to midnight.
That's why I don't coach local tournaments. I don't even go, man.
You
I gotta
know-
spend time with my wife.
Like we respect coaches,
Yeah.
family, students, competitors. Like
Yeah.
that's the way of showing the
I
respect.
respect the most my wife, so I need to be home and take care of her.
That's a smart guy. Who's here? A smart guy.
Without her, I can be here. I cannot be there. So
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like I just kind of like that's it.
That's the way we look to those. This is the whole package like you're talking
Yeah,
about.
whole
It's
package.
the benefits that we're getting from coming to PBJJF,
yeah.
And there's other tournaments. We want to be part of something that we're inspired by other people, and we want to inspire other people to also look for better ways of doing tournaments.
Perfect.
You
Yeah,
know,
perfect.
so-
You guys doing a great job, man. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Vicente.
Let people think you guys are crazy.
They-
Being crazy is good.
we think
I
we're
know they-
crazy sometimes.
they are-
Like,
they are
next,
right.
tell me something. It's like, I think it works.
Yeah,
and everybody
it
was
is.
like, no.
The same thing, man. People will judge you. People will judge you no matter what. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they will.
It is what it is. Like when I start shooting too, like I have people's like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna train jiu-jitsu VJ anymore because it's just shooting. I was like, dude, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for my whole life. I'm still doing it. I cannot have a hobby anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Can I have a hobby
My
anymore?
hobby should be my
Yeah,
job
you
too.
know
Oh
what
my
I mean?
God.
Yeah. When I start jiu-jitsu, I started with a guy in my neighborhood, and it didn't work out. I went to another gym, and all my friends, like, this is not going to work out. I won a first tournament. It's like, oh yeah, he's lucky, and I won. You know what I mean? Like people will judge you no matter
Always,
what, so
always.
whatever. You know, as long as it's work out.
Vicente,
Yeah,
muito
thank you.
obrigado.
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank my
much for
friend.
being here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Hey, thank you guys for watching this episode.
The longest one so
It's
far.
007.
Double 07.
Yeah.
Double 7. And he knows
James
how to
Bond.
shoot. So that's the that's I think that was the
The most
meant to be.
important-
That was meant to be.
Yeah, the most important, I know how to run.
So thank you guys so much for joining us again. And if you're watching this podcast, thank you for supporting our podcast. Please share, comment, tell all your friends, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. And also, if you want to tell where everybody can find you and
BJJ
Train with
Conquest or Conquest BJJ on Instagram, Conquest BJJ Pasadena, Millersville, Pasadena. I'm there Monday to Friday, teaching Monday, Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. But we also have great instructors in the morning, Nate Grab. We have the noons with Michael Mel. Then we have Lance. We have Matt. We have really, really good instructors. Everybody with great experience. Like we have jiu-jitsu for everybody. Hobbyists, world champions, competitors. People just want to go there, hang out, stay away from kids, wife, family. It's like we're there for everything, guys. Like we're there to talk shit. We're there to have fun. We're there to do jiu-jitsu. We're there to, most important, armbar you.
thank you guys so much for joining us today. Who's